Hello friends, back with me again Joseph, your host, and welcome back to our channel and the Catechism for Kids, as we are in the Lenten season. Do you ever wonder what it was really like to be at the Passion of Jesus? Our tendency is to approach the Gospels as history, far removed from who and where we are today. The temptation is to distance ourselves and approach them in an impersonal way. But the Gospels are a living, breathing, deeply personal experience. If we are to encounter the living Jesus as powerfully as possible, we need to learn to place ourselves there in each scene, seeing, hearing, smelling, and tasting everything that is happening, contemplating what each person in the scene is thinking, feeling, hoping, fearing. The Stations of the Cross are a special prayer that helps us remember how Jesus suffered and died for us. This devotion takes us through 14 moments from the time Jesus was condemned to when he was placed in the tomb. Each station helps us think about his pain, his love, and his sacrifice. The Stations of the Cross are an important part of Catholic tradition. They help us reflect on Jesus' journey to Calvary. This devotion reminds us of his great love and what he did to save us. It is a way to pray with our hearts and minds, not just with words. People usually pray the Stations during Lent, especially on Fridays. This is because Jesus died on a Friday, and Lent is a time to focus on his suffering. Many churches have a special prayer service where people walk from station to station, stopping to pray at each one. The Stations of the Cross can be prayed alone or with others. Some families pray them together at home. Schools and youth groups often do this devotion to help young people understand Jesus' sacrifice. Many parishes pray the Stations on Friday evenings, sometimes after a fish fry or another Lenten gathering. Some churches have outdoor Stations of the Cross, making it possible to pray outside. Walking from station to station helps people feel like they are truly on the journey with Jesus. Seeing the images or statues up close can make the experience more meaningful. The Stations of the Cross are a simple but deep way to grow. Closer to Jesus, they help us see his love for us and remind us to trust in him. By praying this devotion, we walk with Jesus and learn to carry our own crosses with faith. The Stations of the Cross began as a way for Christians to remember Jesus' suffering and death. Long ago, people traveled to Jerusalem to visit the places where Jesus walked, to help people feel closer to Jesus. Small versions of these holy places were set up in other countries. These were called the Stations of the Cross. They allowed people to walk and pray as if they were in Jerusalem. This made it easier for more people to experience the devotion. St. Francis of Assisi and the Franciscans played a big role in spreading this devotion. The Franciscans were given care of the holy sites in Jerusalem. They wanted people everywhere to remember Jesus' passion. So, they helped churches set up the Stations of the Cross in their own towns and villages. At first, the number of Stations of the Cross was not always the same. Some places had more, some had fewer. Over time, 14 stations became the standard. These stations tell the story of Jesus' journey from being condemned to being placed in the tomb. The Stations of the Cross became popular in Catholic churches. Artists created paintings and statues to show each station. Churches placed them along the walls so people could walk from one to the next. This is the form we see in churches today. Now, the Stations of the Cross are prayed all over the world. Some churches have outdoor stations along a path or a garden. Others have simple wooden crosses instead of images. No matter the form, the Stations of the Cross help people remember Jesus' great love and sacrifice. The Stations of the Cross are a way to pray and reflect on Jesus' suffering. This devotion follows 14 moments from his condemnation to his burial. At each station, we pause to pray and think about what Jesus went through. The Stations of the Cross usually follow a simple pattern. First, we move to the station and announce its name. Then, we pray a short prayer or read a reflection. Sometimes we also read a Bible passage. After that, we take a moment of silence to think about Jesus' pain and love. We repeat this process for all 14 stations. People can pray the Stations of the Cross alone, with their family, or in a group. Many churches offer a group prayer on Fridays during Lent. Families can pray them together at home or in a church. Some people pray them privately at any time of the year. Physically walking the Stations of the Cross makes the prayer more meaningful. Moving from station to station helps us feel like we are walking with Jesus. Seeing the images or statues up close can also help us imagine his suffering. If walking is not possible, we can still pray the Stations of the Cross from a pew or at home. Some people use a prayer book or look at pictures. Others follow along with an online video. The most important thing is to take time to reflect on Jesus' journey. The Stations of the Cross are a simple but deep way to connect with Jesus. They remind us of his love and sacrifice. By praying them, we walk with him and grow in faith. The traditional Stations of the Cross follow Jesus' journey from his condemnation to his burial. These 14 stations help us reflect on his suffering and love. Station 1. Jesus is condemned to death. Station 2. Jesus takes up his cross. Station 3. Jesus falls the first time. Station 4. Jesus meets his mother. Station 5. Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus carry the cross. Station 6. Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. Station 7. Jesus falls the second time. Station 8. Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem. Station 9. Jesus falls the third time. Station 10. Jesus is stripped of his garments. Station 11. Jesus is nailed to the cross. Station 12. Jesus dies on the cross. Station 13. Jesus is taken down from the cross. Station 14. Jesus is laid in the tomb. The Stations of the Cross are not just about the past. They help us see Jesus' suffering and the struggles of today. Many people face pain, rejection, and injustice, just as Jesus did. When we pray the Stations of the Cross, we remember those who are hurting now. The Stations of the Cross also teach us empathy. As we walk with Jesus, we think about the suffering of others. We remember those who are sick, lonely, or treated unfairly. This helps us open our hearts and respond with love. The Stations of the Cross are more than just a Lenten tradition. They help us remember Jesus' great love and sacrifice. By praying them, we walk with him on his journey and reflect on our own faith. This devotion also connects to our daily struggles. Jesus suffered, but he never gave up. When we face challenges, we can turn to him for strength. Stations of the Cross remind us that suffering is not the end. It's through faith, hope, and love we can carry our own crosses. Whether we pray the Stations of the Cross at church, at home, or outdoors, the most important thing is to reflect on Jesus' journey. His love is always with us. By following his example, we grow closer to him and to others. The Stations of the Cross are a powerful way to grow in faith. They help us reflect on Jesus' suffering and how it relates to our own lives. If you have never prayed this devotion, consider trying it this Lent. If you already pray it, think about inviting a friend or family member to join you. One of the most impactful times to pray the Stations of the Cross is during Holy Week, especially on Good Friday. Thanks for watching, friends. I hope this video is useful and helpful for you to know more about the Stations of the Cross, especially in this Lenten season. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting contents. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy as usual. See you next time, and God bless you always.